Okay, yeah, so find your seat. I'm gonna sit in rock pose. You can sit however you like. You can even lie down if you want. Okay, look at my clock. So finding your seat, settling into your energy. Maybe noticing your energy level. Noticing yourself in the room that you're in. Beginning to bring your awareness inward. So maybe just visualizing the four walls of the room that you're in. Maybe noticing the four sides of the mat that you're on. If you're not sitting on a mat, maybe noticing your points of contact on the floor. With your awareness at the base of your spine, let's just begin to bring the breath to the base of the spine. And then just inhaling it up the spine. And exhale, the energy goes down the spine. Inhaling and exhaling up and down the spine. Maybe beginning to notice if there's movement in your body, feeling that prana awakening as we bring our awareness to the breath, that vehicle of prana. I'm going to share a couple lines from The Hobbit. My sister, who was deeply inspired to me, just started rereading it, and so I thought I need to reread it too. And she sent this earlier this week. It's at the beginning of the book when they're talking about the adventure they're going to go on in search of the treasure that the dragon Smaug has hidden away. There is nothing like looking if you want to find something, or so Thorin said to the young dwarves. You certainly usually find something if you look, but it is not always quite the something you were after. So it proved on this occasion. I'm going to read it again. There is nothing quite like looking if you want to find something. You certainly usually find something if you look, but it is not always quite the something you were after. Let's invite some looking into our space tonight. Perhaps we came here with an expectation to relieve a certain something, to feel a certain way, to move and rest in a certain way. And perhaps we'll find something completely different. Let's bring our awareness to our hands and bring our hands together and actually clasp the fingers, kind of folding the hands. And just move the wrists around in a circle, maybe counterclockwise and then clockwise. Bring in some awareness to the fingers. Let's open the thumbs and move the thumbs. That lung meridian that runs along the thumb. The index fingers, move those index fingers. That large intestine meridian that runs along that index finger. And then the middle fingers just opening and closing towards the hands. That pericardium, that sheath around the heart in that middle finger. Move all the fingers and then bring some awareness to those pinkies. Move those pinkies. The heart on the underside of the pinky. The small intestine along the top as well. As that sun jiao. So activating all these meridians in our hands, then bringing the hands to the ground. And let's come into yogi toe squat. So it's coming on to the balls of the feet if that's comfortable. If it's not quite comfortable to kind of crouch and rest on the toes, then maybe find a chair and just come onto the balls of the feet. And let's kind of curl into a ball. We rocking on the toes and then settling onto the toes. Again, this little epicenter of meridians on the feet. Let's bring our awareness to our third eye point between the brows. Maybe tonight you have an intention or you have something that you came in search of. Let's bring that into our space. And then know that sometimes there's a lot of moving parts. So when we leave here or when we go about our week, things might shift in preparation for the manifestation of our intention. Just like the Hobbit, the adventure, so many details. One more breath in. And then we'll exhale, just come into a seat with the legs out in front. And now let's bring our left leg out, kind of come onto the side so we can grow onto the back here eventually. We'll come into our half saddle. So grab the right foot with the right hand, and then we'll slowly kind of roll onto the back. Maybe it's easier to roll onto the back and then to kind of find that foot. And maybe your knee comes close to the ground. Mine is sometimes a little more lifted. I feel more comfortable like that. Just allow this little kind of hurdler stretch if you're a track and field junkie. Rest here. Not quite sure what we'll find as we bring that inner eye to our center. Maybe to the spine again and breathing up and down the spine. Noticing the intensity, maybe feeling like we need to roll over to the side more and make it more of a side stretch, and that's totally fine. Mindful breathing and mindful rest. If this is too much entirely, then the other option is to just have that left leg in front and kind of lean back with that right leg bent. So that's an option too. I'll demonstrate that for the remainder of our time. Maybe noticing the breath, allowing it to be the metronome that guides our practice. The breath guiding the mind, stilling the mind. We're almost done with our half saddle on the side. So maybe breathing in and out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more breath in and out. And then if you have that left leg extended, kind of roll over onto the left side, swing that right leg out. Let's find our rebound. Lying down on the back flat, the legs long. Our rebound allows us to tune into that chi, that energy that's flowing at a subtle level through the body, through those meridians. Maybe imagine some messages being passed through those channels. As Deepak Chopra wrote, every cell of our body is eavesdropping on our thoughts, picking up those messages that we're thinking and responding to our thoughts. Let's breathe in. And exhale, we'll roll up back to a seat. Now from here, let's bring our feet wide, coming into our dragonfly. So the feet can be far apart, they can be close together, whatever feels right for you. As you know, I like to have blocks to stack up to kind of rest my elbows on, to rest my head on. Allow the feet to be loose. Roll the shoulders back. And as you begin to hinge forward, when you start to feel a sensation, you can round the back. You can rest the arms down. If you don't want to use blocks or you don't have them, you can just rest your hands on the floor. Knowing that where you start isn't always where we finish. So you start to feel things move and respond, that fascia, those 3D cobwebs of fascia beginning to smooth. Then maybe you can sink a little deeper or you can lift up a little more. We're just looking Just looking inside. Allowing the weight of the arms, the weight of this back leaning forward to support maybe the low back, the glutes or the backs of the legs to open. That's all our own being, supporting our own being here. Kind of coming full circle. If you have any tension or maybe discomfort even, what would happen if we were to look at that? Bringing awareness there. What do we notice if we look at that physical discomfort in the body? Just look. Sometimes our cells hold trauma and experiences in them. And they hide out in places in the body, and we wonder why we have aches and pains. It's subtle energy sometimes. It's emotions. It's thoughts that we haven't digested. Let's just look. Let's breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Breathe in. And sigh. And then in. And out. And then from here, we're going to forego that rebound, but bring the shoulders up over the hips. And now let's come into half butterfly. So bring that right leg in, the right foot on the inside of that left leg. Maybe shift the sits bones if you need to. Shine the heart towards that left foot and then walk the hands towards that foot. Let the foot relax. And sometimes I like to have blocks on the inside and outside of the leg here. So I can kind of recline and just let the effort be more in the back of the leg. Not so much in the arms, but just find what works for you. I'm going to try without blocks tonight and just look and see. Maybe noticing the low back, the underside of the leg. Always the option here if you would like to roll a blanket roll underneath the knee. It's always available to support. I'll just demonstrate. With this bent knee over here, let's just gently bringing awareness to that stomach meridian. And our stomach is what allows us to receive nourishment from experiences. So maybe this looking and exploring, we can draw some nourishment from the whole adventure. Our Yin Yoga practice is out of surrender and stillness, and not necessarily waiting, but being. Just being in the moment, not waiting for something else, but being here. So we look, we look, we look. We might not find what we were expecting. An option here, if you want to reach that right arm up and allow it to drape over the head. Maybe you hold the hands together. Sometimes I rest my elbow on the blanket of the block, opening up those meridians that run into the hand. A lot of them attach at the shoulder, under the arm. On the top of the arm, they travel along the top of the bottom, attaching near the chest or on the shoulder. Now let's exhale for 3, 2, and 1. And now slowly release the hands and bring the shoulders up really, really slow, noticing that side body and the low back on the right side. Bring the shoulders up. Really noticing the spine. Let's come into our rebound now. Noticing that energy at the subtlest level. Maybe noticing how one leg compares to the other. You're welcome to stay here a little longer. Whenever you're ready to move up and out of your rebound, we'll come into butterfly and there's no rush. Maybe that rebound is exactly what you were looking for and you can be there even the rest of class. Otherwise, bring the soles of the feet together. Find those sits bones. And you know, if butterfly isn't really ever very comfortable for you, just bring one foot in and one foot in front and you can lean forward and just alternate feet. But if butterfly is accessible, then bring the feet together. And I'm going to bring a block here to rest my forearms on because I'm going to fold forward. So you're welcome to keep the heart lifted and maybe the feet come in and that's your butterfly. Or if you want to fold it forward. And then when you find that spot where you get a little feedback, pause. And allow that to be the genesis of the shape. The genesis of the experience right here. What do you notice if you look? What do you notice? Are you noticing a physical sensation, or maybe the breath, or maybe an emotion? Maybe noticing if you feel as though you're kind of at that place, what we would refer to as the edge. Maybe noticing if that's not quite the truth. Maybe the edge is in a different place. And with curiosity and gentleness, be noticing the edge. Knowing that more isn't always better. If boredom or impatience starts to rise to the surface, or maybe noticing if you're beginning to reside in the fiction of your mind, look at the breath and be in that breath. Now let's breathe in and breathe out. And 2 more cycles of breath. And at that end of that last breath, that last exhale, begin to lift the heart and the chest and the shoulders. And we'll meet in our rebound, so that shavasana. And unraveling out of this butterfly. Allowing that chi to move, its wisdom, navigating the way. One more breath in. Exhale. Roll over to one side. Coming into our seat. We'll extend the right leg out and bring that left foot in this time for our half butterfly. So left foot to that thigh, right leg out, other leg to be loose, that foot to be loose. And we'll turn our heart towards the knee, towards that foot, and then just fold over. Maybe noticing the side might be different. You can even remember what the other side was like. Just letting it be. There is nothing like looking if you want to find something. You certainly usually find something if you look, but it is not always quite the something you were after. And we allow space for trust that when something isn't quite what we expected, when what we find isn't quite what we were looking for, or it doesn't quite seem right, maybe we can trust that it actually is right. Now if you'd like to allow that left hand to kind of drape over the head. Allow that side body to open. Breathing into the shape. Now at your own pace, offer 3 breaths in and out. Gently bring your shoulders back up over the hips whenever you're ready. And then we'll come into our half saddle on the other side. So option is to bring that right foot kind of in and the left foot goes back. And you can sit, just lean back. Or if you want to lie down completely, that right leg goes out. You can bring that left leg behind you and hold. That bend in that left leg is going to again activate that stomach meridian. So offering some nourishment. This revelatory looking. Let it nourish us. Maybe breathe a breath into that looking, a breath into that exploring. Surrender here. Now slowly begin the 3 inhales and exhales. And at the bottom of that last exhale, finding rebound. Then we'll rest in our rebound. So truly finding Shavasana. Maybe as the chi begins to move, noticing where it might be resting. And then release all effort. Bring your awareness, direct that awareness to one thing. Maybe it's a color. Maybe it's something that always makes you smile. But focus and direct your awareness on one thing. Let go of all other things. Just redirecting the mind to that one thing. Every time the thought creeps in, just bring your awareness gently back to that one thing. Now you're welcome to gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes and make your way to a seated position to close in silent meditation. You're also welcome to just remain here in Shavasana. Maybe when you find your seat, just offering yourself a couple rounds of Nadi Shodhana to still the mind even further. Maybe you're ready to just sit. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.